Story 1. Sitting here waiting for the standard bot response. I was really down on my luck working the cash register at Dollar Tree and decided I was fed up. I taught myself 2 programming languages in the back of a 1993 Honda Accord. Now I have a great job, working from home about 3 hours a day, with a base salary of $220,000 and 187 paid time off days a year. I met my wife, bought a house, and our first child is on the way. Story 2. I am a field service technician for heavy equipment, essentially a mechanic who works on construction machinery. My company provides my work truck, which I can take home. I also get paid as soon as I start my workday and continue to earn until I return home. Not only do I earn a good income, but I am also saving approximately $2,000 to $3,000 a year on fuel for my personal vehicle compared to when I worked in the shop. Story 3. I work with spreadsheets, create database reports, and troubleshoot user issues with database software in the oil and gas industry. I would estimate that the majority of people in the industry who are not working at gas stations earn over $100,000. I handle straightforward tasks, excel at them, and understand the industry and its data well enough to be valuable, even though I have less knowledge about software than most IT professionals and cannot write SQL. Story 4. I was feeling down on my luck working the cash register at a discount store and decided I had enough. I taught myself 2 programming languages in the back of my 1993 Honda Accord. Now I have a great job, working from home for about 3 hours a day with a base salary of $220,000 and 187 paid time off days a year. I met my wife, bought a house, and my first child is on the way. Story 5. IT manager with a few certifications, a degree, and a decade of experience. My first position had a salary of $35,000. Takes time to advance in your career. Story 6. I am a computer programmer in Denmark. I earn approximately $100,000 per year, which includes my pension and is before tax. Story 7. Principal solution architect. Worked in Silicon Valley for a few years, achieving up to $500,000 total compensation. Now back in Europe and freelancing, charging €400 per hour. Story 8. No general vague answers. Be slightly specific. Don't just say consulting. Specify what type of consulting. Story 9. 2 of my friends, who each earn over $200,000, work in the healthcare industry. One is in information technology and application development, holding a high-level project management position, while the other works for a pharmaceutical company, managing programs that assist patients in accessing expensive prescription medications at no cost or reduced rates. Both are at the director level, over 46 years old, and have been with their companies for more than 20 years. Additionally, the healthcare system in the United States is severely flawed and inequitable. Story 10. I work in corporate development for a healthcare company. My role involves mergers and acquisitions, where I buy other companies to facilitate our growth. Additionally, I manage venture capital for the company. Story 11. I earn just over $100,000 by working overtime as a maintenance supervisor for apartments. My hours typically range from 43 to 50 per week, usually around 43, but occasionally reaching 50 or more due to weekend snowstorms or emergencies. Last year, I earned $109,000, and the year before, I earned $102,000. When I include the additional work I take on with my small business, my total income is closer to $140,000. Story 12. A data scientist in finance earns $115,000. I started as an analyst creating spreadsheets, taught myself Python, and learned about machine learning on the weekends. I changed companies every 2 years for better offers. The key is to never get too comfortable. Story 13. My partner and I both earn above this. I work as a sales consultant for a residential building company, and my partner is a mortgage advisor. Story 14. Finally, I officially broke into the 100,000 club this year. Admittedly, it's not just my raw salary, and there are a couple of assisting factors like a military pension, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is there. For work, I am a team lead for a traveling low-voltage installation crew. Once principal construction is complete, my team and I handle networking, 12-volt systems, and computer and component setups. It's a fun job, but I am also on the road for 3 out of every 4 weeks. It is challenging to balance that with 2 kids at home. I often feel like I am not fulfilling my role as a father and husband since I'm rarely around. Story 15. I work in global benefits, part of the human resources department, for a large employer. Remote work may be 3 to 4 hours per day, and I take unlimited paid time off, which translates to about 5 to 6 weeks in reality. I live in a moderately priced area. As soon as my wife has our first child, she plans to quit her job. I started in niche benefits consulting right after completing my undergraduate degree, and then it was relatively easy to transition in-house for better work-life balance. I am still in my 20s, but it is straightforward to advance as I gain more experience in the field since experience is valuable. However, I feel a bit restless because I am ambitious and want higher pay, more prestige, and further opportunities. Therefore, I am currently considering pursuing a part-time Master of Business Administration. Story 16. At the current rate of inflation, it won't be long before the standard answer is school teacher, mechanic, prison guard, and so on. Story 17. Chief Technology Officer in a mid-sized Chinese electronics company with a salary of approximately $200,000, free housing, paid travel, and generally good benefits. Story 18. I work in healthcare for a public insurance group and earn $225,000. My first job after graduate school was $40,000 in 2014, and I didn't start making over $100,000 until 2021. My current company values me, and through an equity adjustment, due to someone with my title earning more than me, and a 5% cost of living adjustment last year, I increased my salary from $150,000 to my current amount. Story 19. I had a successful year with my business last year. I earned slightly over $100,000 from both my full-time job and side consulting work in information technology. I handle various roles within my field. Recently, I assisted a business with International Organization for Standardization and National Institute of Standards and Technology Compliance, which helped me exceed the $100,000 mark, but typically I earn under that amount. Story 20. Pharmaceutical scientist. It took me 4.5 years to reach the $100,000 mark, starting at around $50,000. No overtime involved. Story 21. I manage the database access layer our clients use for healthcare data reporting and analytics. I hold a product owner and application management role. The compensation is a $120,000 base salary plus bonuses. Story 22. Data engineer responsible for designing and developing data warehouses and extract, transform, load solutions to consolidate data from various source systems for all types of reporting needs at my company. I started as an analyst with a salary of $45,000. Story 23. I work in technology as a senior engineer at an information technology consulting firm. My base salary is $130,000. I have unlimited paid time off and can potentially earn $145,000 with bonuses. Story 24. User research project manager for a major video game company. Started at $65,000 in 2017 with a PhD, now earning $110,000. Story 25. I am a director-level supervisor of a team of 13 that works in product design at a major consumer packaged goods company. For this, I receive a base salary of $185,000 and a bonus of around $15,000 to $25,000 based on the business's performance. I have a Doctor of Philosophy degree in physical chemistry, although I do not use it at all. I have not really applied any advanced physical chemistry, but I have utilized many chemistry principles throughout my career. I started at a salary of $72,000 right out of graduate school in 2000 and have seen a consistent increase in my salary, roughly 3 times in 25 years. I have worked for 3 different companies during that time. I probably could have earned more sooner with more frequent job changes, but I love my current position, have a lot of flexibility, and truly enjoy the people I work with, especially my current boss. Story 26. I am a specialized coder who investigates large-scale organized fraud groups targeting a multinational company. There are only about 8 people in the company who perform the same role as me, and my work is highly specialized. I primarily code in Python and SQL. Story 27. I am a civil engineering project manager with 10 years of experience, earning $128,000 annually. I specialize in civil site design, although I believe my colleagues in highway design at my firm earn a similar amount. My role involves designing everything around a building. The architect provides the footprint, and I ensure it fits on the property with the required setbacks, parking count, fire access, and grading and drainage design to meet local stormwater requirements. I also evaluate utility connections and potential main extensions when water or sewer lines are not nearby. Additionally, I manage the process to obtain all necessary permits for the client to proceed with construction. Story 28. Construction management involves overseeing construction projects. It typically includes the responsibilities of a general foreman or superintendent. I began my career as a welder and then took several additional courses and earned certifications to enhance my qualifications, which ultimately led to an opportunity in this field. Story 29. IT consulting primarily involves strategy and project management. It is a medium-sized company with a great culture. The job is quite relaxed if you excel at it. Generally, if you perform 25% better than the client's own employees, which is often achievable with large corporations, they will readily listen to your recommendations, making the work relatively straightforward. Story 30. I worked on buses and trucks, earning $112,000 in my last year in that role. Now, I am a trainer in the industry, making $100,000 with good benefits. Story 31. The majority of able-bodied individuals who want to earn over $100,000 per year can definitely achieve that if they put their mind to it. This applies to both blue-collar and white-collar jobs. Find a field that has demand, get trained, and be determined to be the absolute best. Even if you feel underpaid in the moment, if you continue to push yourself to improve, you will eventually be in a position to negotiate a higher salary from your current employer, or another company will hire you. Story 32. I own a flatbed truck, so each year I average $160,000. However, I spend about $40,000 on gas, and I still have payments until next winter. I don't actually bring home $160,000. I bring home about $70,000. That amount will increase once my truck is paid off, allowing me to buy another truck, hire someone, and grow from there. It's not a straightforward path, but I am still working on it. Story 33. Here is a response. About 12 years ago, I had less than $20 in my pocket. I found a temporary service for entry-level labor in the electrochemical processing industry, specifically anodizing. I started by turning guns black at a rate of $10 an hour, earning about $20,000 a year. I worked my way up, learning everything from process quoting and shipping to receiving and chemical testing, and later maintenance. From there, I used my knowledge in chemicals and maintenance to branch out. I began working as a regular maintenance technician, earning $26 an hour, and eventually became an industrial refrigeration technician, working with R717, also known as anhydrous ammonia. This substance is poisonous and toxic to humans at high concentrations, which is why there is a bit of hazard pay. However, I know traveling technicians who earn $55 an hour with benefits such as per diem, tools, a truck, and a gas card. I am stationary in my position and currently earn $40 an hour. With overtime, I have exceeded $100,000 for the past 2 years since taking on this role within the company. The sky is the limit with ammonia in terms of mechanics and engineering. It is a highly rewarding career. Story 34. I worked in international sourcing for several corporations that went public during my tenure. With stock options, salary, bonuses, and miscellaneous compensation, my worst years were around $500,000. I took that money and opened multiple businesses. Now, those years seem like low-paying years. Story 35. Data scientist with degrees in mathematics and statistics and 30 years of work experience. The first job was $43,000. But the salary likely surpassed $100,000 in 2005. A person in that field today would start at over $100,000. Story 36. E-discovery and litigation support do not require a degree, only a certification. Honestly, it is the easiest work I have ever done. I work completely remote. Story 37. I own an equipment sales and service business in the aviation industry, usually making about $140,000 per year. There have been down years where I barely made my salary of $80,000, and there have been years when the business thrived and made $500,000. If I wanted to really work hard, I could probably make $250,000 steadily each year, but I found a happy medium where I don't have to overwork myself while still having very satisfied customers. It's almost a semi-retirement that, at 49, I'm comfortable continuing for probably the next 20 years. Story 38. Proposal Manager. There is no standard for salary in the industry. My first job in this role paid $45,000. I currently have a base salary of $130,000. I have seen job listings for my title with similar years of experience offering upwards of $170,000 to $180,000. I know that Accenture Federal pays around $250,000 for a senior proposal manager position. Conversely, I have come across companies that require 10 years of experience for a senior proposal manager role, but only offer a salary of $95,000. Potential salaries vary greatly, but I remain in this field, aware of what I could earn in the future. Story 39. I have been a project manager in healthcare for about 8 years. If anyone is looking to refer me or hire me for a salary over $200,000, please let me know. Story 40. Data Analytics Manager in the e-gaming industry. This is a remote job with a decent salary, but it is still underpaid compared to the same role in other industries. Story 41. I am a sales engineer for a healthcare IT company, following 15 years in corporate IT and 10 years in healthcare IT in various vendor-side roles, including support manager, project manager, sales engineer, and product manager. I earn a decent salary now, around $160,000, but it is not significantly more compared to others in my age group. It has definitely been a grind to grow my income, though my last job switch resulted in a 40% raise. Story 42. Work in public accounting with a certified public accountant license. I assist clients in increasing their earnings and retaining more of their income. They find this service valuable and compensate accordingly. Story 43. COBOL programmer earned $106,000 last year, although I only net about $45,000 to $50,000. 2 pensions, dental insurance, health insurance, union dues, and standard income taxes contribute to that. They are all worth it, and the pay is comfortable. Story 44. I have been in the car business since 2018, starting off with sales and working my way through a couple of promotions. Currently, I am outside the dealership, providing training and consulting for an advisory group. I earn about $150,000 a year, with some variability. Story 45. 100,000 what? American dollars, kangaroos, euros? Anyway, over $100,000 as an electronics engineer at one of the largest companies. My wife also works on regulations at a bank. We both earn just over $100,000, but as dual income no kids, we're doing well. Story 46. My title typically includes the word analyst, but my core value lies in my data skills, such as structured query language and query writing, extract, load, transform, data build tool, Snowflake, and logical and physical modeling. I have also been with my current company for 5 years, so I know the data better than most. Like many analysts, I possess a good mix of soft and hard skills, but I am more proficient in data engineering than is typical. My salary is $131,000. Story 47. Process Technician 3 in engineering for a car company that people either really love or really dislike, depending on who you talk to. Currently, it seems there is a negative sentiment about them on Reddit. Story 48. I was struggling while working the cash register at a dollar store and decided I had enough. I taught myself 2 programming languages in the back of a 1993 Honda Accord. Now, I have a great job working from home for about 3 hours a day, with a base salary of $220,000. I have 187 days of paid time off each year. I met my wife, bought a house, and we have our first child on the way. Story 49. Expert investor and cryptocurrency manager. I analyze and strategically invest in long-term wealth-building strategies. I have made over $5.8 million in the past 5 years by identifying high-gain platforms and investing my savings in Bitcoin. Story 50. I have a degree in digital media, which is as unfocused as it sounds, but it taught me a little bit of everything. It was an art degree, but I learned web design, some coding, and 2D and 3D animation. I ended up getting a contract job to do data migration for a website redesign for a medium-sized company at $20 per hour, eventually rising to $30 per hour. Because I learned the content management system really well and I was fast, it led to another content management system web job with a salary of about $80,000. I moved to the Bay Area with my wife's job and stayed at my low salary until I got a job at a startup, where I doubled my salary for the same role to $155,000. I moved back home a few years later and settled for a salary between $120,000 and $130,000, still doing content management system web work and working from home. I am totally okay with that. It is the job switch in the Bay Area that had the biggest impact, but I am still surprised that companies are willing to pay this much for what I do. Overseas contractors will do similar work for less, but they are often more prone to mistakes and may not solve problems as effectively as I do based on my experience. Story 51. I stay home while my husband works in an online pharmacy related to the large insurance company he has been with for over a decade. When I worked, I was in information technology sales. It was challenging, but I earned a substantial income until my company was acquired during the COVID pandemic. Edit. The downvote. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.